World War II technologies during and after.
Technology was at its early stage during the First World War. Even with having tanks, machine guns, chemical weapons, field radios, cell phones, and rapidly advancing medical treatments, it was not at its full potential.
Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand was an heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and was important until his assassination that was said to be justification for Austria to take action against Serbia, as the assassin was a Bosnian and Black Hand recruit.
The population during World War One was around 103 million people, and the cause of the war was the assassination of Austrian Archduke Ferdinand and the declaration of war by Germany to Russia. The greatest invention at the time was the machine gun, and the greatest technological advancement was new weaponry to enhance warfare.
In 1925, Adolf Hitler rose to power and then became the leader of the Nazi Party shortly after in 1933, the Chancellor, and finally the leader of Germany as a dictator. When he decided to want to conquer other countries, the United States and USSR had to fight against Nazi Germany, and they had to enhance their technology. This turned out to change everything for both countries, governments, and lives.
The U.S. population in 1940 was around 132 million people, and it entered World War II in December 1941. And events prior to that was the Great Depression from 1929 to 1939. And the latest invention was airborne technology.
The Soviet Union's population in 1940 was about 194 million. It entered World War II in September 1939. The events prior were the Russian Revolution of 1917 through 1923. The latest invention was early nucleic weaponry.
World War One technology was advanced for its time, but World War II helped the United States enhance its technologies that improve the lives of citizens and protect their country.
The United States technology. World War I's technology was advanced for its time, but World War II helped the United States enhance its technologies that improve the lives of its citizens and protect their country.
The US has not joined the war until later on because of Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, and Nazi Germany declared war also in 1941.
Similar to radar technology, computers had been in development well before the start of World War II. However, the war demanded rapid progression of such technology, resulting in the production of new computers of unprecedented power. One such example was the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, the ENIAC, one of the first general-purpose computers, capable of performing thousands of calculations in a second. ENIAC was originally designed for military purposes, but it was not completed until 1945, says Christian Burton.
Computers were an essential part of helping the military fight against Japan and Nazi Germany with solving complex math and aided in trying to advance their technologies and become superior to their foes.
Along with the advances of microwave and computer technology, World War II brought forth momentous changes in field of surgery and medicine. The devastating scale of both world wars demanded the development and use new medical techniques that led to improvements in blood transfusions, skin grafts, and other advances in trauma treatment. As the war continued, advertisements heralding penicillin's benefits established the antibiotic as a wonder drug, responsible for saving millions of lives. From World War II to today, Penicillin remains a critical form of treatment used to ward off bacterial infections. David Mendel.
There were medical advancements that helped citizens in times of need during the Great Depression that ended recently. Production went up to create medicine for not only military but for citizens as well.
The Soviet Union also manufactured technologies that were arguably superior to those of the United States. They also had technology that benefited the US and USSR simultaneously.
The USSR was formed in 1917 and they were allies with the US in 1941. And the USSR had a disastrous famine that took the lives of several of its citizens.
In several important respects, United States practices may be inferior. One important distinction lies in the evidence that the Soviet military research and development system is markedly more efficient than its civil sector equivalent, which may well be the reverse of the situation prevailing in the United States, at least in terms of the underlying costs of generating development options from which choices of appropriate production articles may sensibly be made. The Soviets appear to realize a greater return than the United States from the resource invested. Robert Perry.
As previously stated, the Soviet Union did have superior technology and developments that gave them an advantage during the World War, especially with Nazi Germany being one of the prime targets.
The Soviets had built for themselves, in record time, an industrialized economy that could have served as a foundation for later technological advancements. Furthermore, state support for scientific and technological development was so strong that, by the 1980s, the Soviet Union had more scientists and engineers relative to the total world population than any other major country in the world. By Chi Ling Chan.
The Soviets had set themselves up for technological advancements, and and there were there were there there was a lot of state support that can help them, and they have a lot of scientists and engineers.
Ever since the end of World War II, technology has advanced in a huge progression that has evolved our sciences and machinery that forever impacts the lives of people even after the disbanding of the Soviet Union after the Cold War.
Some modern technology that was that was the missile age, improved weapon systems, and the development for better computers. This was when after wars ended and during the Cold War.
The Soviets and American missiles have been making steady progress, improving the range, accuracy, launching time, warhead load, and survivability of their missile systems. Mick Ryan.
Soviets and Americans have been steadily improving their missiles to improve range, accuracy, launching time, warhead load, and survivability of their missile systems, and have been weapon systems since the Americans and the Soviets were trying to show that their ideology is better than the other, but still demonstrates that the arguments were still strong.
The computer networking revolution began in the early 1960s and has led us to today's technology. The internet was first invented for military purposes and then expanded to the purpose of communication among scientists. The invention also came about in part by the increasing need for computers in the 1960s during the Cold War. It was essential to have communications links between military and university computers that would not be disrupted by bombs or enemy spies. Allah Garbawi.
Since the invention of the internet, it was only for military purposes, but it soon became more popular and widespread, and then email was first invented in 1993, and the internet went public, then it became more popular and popular.
Technology has improved a lot since the two world wars and has helped in everyday life and succeeded in developing major discoveries.
After the war, technology only advanced as it became a huge point in modern society. We saw that the US and USSR have made nuclear weaponry, but also advanced the newer technologies like modern computers, phones, satellites, solar power technologies, and so much more that aids in helping to make what once was impossible now possible, like completely eradicated viruses and helping in communications, and to advance further into what we have in our time.
Today, we use technology in our everyday life and we consistently use it. Phones, internet, computers, and venture cars are some examples of technology we use.